Hey guys, and welcome to a new video. We are doing a biannual video that I do, and that is a book unhaul. These are books that just weren't for me because every book's not going to be for every person, and I'm going to be donating these to little free libraries all across the United States. Not sure where yet. I don't have any travel plans, but here in my hometown as well. But let's see which books I'm going to be getting rid of. We're going to be going in the order that I read them most recently. First, I have The Frozen River by Ariel Lawhon. This one, it felt like a modern character thrown into the 1700s, even though this is based on a real historical figure. I didn't like that aspect. I wasn't a huge fan of how the character was portrayed, but I do think a lot of people are going to love this book. This is very much a commercial book. I see it a lot of places and see a lot of people loving it. So I do think this could be a good introduction to historical fiction for some readers. Another historical fiction that is very genre bending is The Mozart Code by Rachel McMillan. This was another case of being very surface level, but I think the atmosphere was done extremely well with building this history of what Vienna was like after World War II. Is very genre bending. People who are fans of thrillers and want to try historical fiction might want to give this a go, or vice versa. And it is even labeled as a historical romance. Maybe if you're wanting to dabbling in romance, or if you're a romance reader wanting to dabble into historical fiction, this could work for you. First poetry collection that I finished this year was Thrall by Natasha Thaythaway. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. Who she was, a poet laureate of the United States. This one is about being a mixed race daughter to a white man and how that has been portrayed in history and culture in American history. I do think this one, I love what the author is trying to do, but the poems are inspired by paintings, and I'm not familiar with these paintings. I was missing something while reading it because I didn't know those paintings. A nonfiction is When Women Ruled the World, The Six Queens of Egypt by Cara Cooney. I like what the author is trying to do. I think there's a bit of false advertising, as this is really the Egyptians went to a woman pharaoh worst case scenario. They weren't a matriarchy or anything like that. It's not like we see in modern day royal families where Queen Elizabeth really changed that law of where if the eldest born child happens to be a daughter, she can become queen and it doesn't pass to the oldest son. No, that's not what was happening in ancient Egypt. It was worst case scenario. And I don't think there was enough information, because this is going back 5,000 years of history, to make this a memorable story. Controversial right here, Mistborn by Brandon Sanderson. This was a good fantasy. I did enjoy it, but do I want to continue with the Cosmere? I don't know if that's something that I want to do. This one that I might end up keeping if you guys convince me to do so. I have a short story collection. I do think this is a good short story collection. Again, this is The Secret Life of Church Ladies by Disha Filia. It's just not an all-time favorite. The Peach Cobbler story was my favorite, and I still think about it sometimes. Winter Once for Me by Alison Cochrane, a Christmas wintry romance. Very I love the anxiety representation in this book, but again, with a lot of romance, I really question some of the character motives, and I realized in modern romance, are characters being dumbed down for the sake of plot and for tropes. This big bind up right here, which is the Long Prince Quartet by Daniel Abram. I read the first story, the first book, which is A Shadow in Summer. I don't plan on continuing the rest of this. I'm glad it was a bind up, because if that was just a singular book, I'm like, what is the point? It was a lot of building. I did like the world that we were in, but again, what was the point? This might be an unpopular opinion, and this is such a beautiful book that it pains me to give away. That is Blood Over Brighthaven. If you like the Barbie movie, I think you'll like this. This is very surface level, but giving those important ideas. But if you're somebody who's already familiar with them, like how history is written, and that a lot of it is a lie. No, I don't want to say it to that extent, but we get very surface level learning of history and culture. Once you dive deeper, you're going to be like, oh my gosh, everything that I knew was a lie. That's how you're going to feel. I already knew all that kind of stuff. One didn't do a whole lot for me. If y'all want a pretentious cli-fi dystopian. Something New Under the Sun by Alexandra Keeman. Next one is Beheld by Tara Shea Nesbitt. This is another one that I love the cover for. The atmosphere and historical aspects were really good, and it's really interesting just to see where America has gone since the time it was colonized to the modern day, because this is taking place in the Plymouth Bay Colony. Is that what it's called? Massachusetts Bay Colony? I'm sorry if I got that wrong. The historical aspects are great, but I'm gonna say this is purple prose. The Same Bright Stars by Ethan Joella. This would make a Tom Hanks movie. If you like Frederick Bachman, I think you would like this, but I don't think it's as developed and as clever as Frederick Bachman. 1984 by George Orwell. People, yeah. This book is very prevalent right now, but since it is so prevalent, and since I had heard so much about it before, none of it was a surprise. So when I was reading this, I'm like, yeah, that's what 1984 is about. It didn't do a whole lot for me, but I do think if you don't know anything about it, you really need to pick this up during this time period of history that we're living in. Master of Night by Mariana Enriquez. How did I survive that? I love the ideas. This can get grotesque, but I don't see myself rereading it. Volume 0, this is from Book of the Month. It is a short story collection. Very speculative literary fiction. I think if you like those, you will like this one. The Roanoke Girls by Amy Engel. This book was trying so hard to be edgy, but didn't want to say what it was actually trying to say. It didn't want to put it so bluntly out there. But if you like teen dramas, I think you might like this one. The last book that I have to talk about is Beverly, Bonnefinche is Dead by Christian Seeley. This is one of the most unhinged characters that I've ever read. I do think the mental health depictions in here are fantastic. That representation is fantastic. I don't remember which month, like, you know, it's Black History Month right now. I don't remember which month is like Mental Health Awareness Month. I do think this one would be a good one for that. But some of it was just so out there and crazy for me that it was too out there, and I was just kind of shook reading. But this started out really good, but it did get kind of choppy once we get to the more like romance parts of the plot. Very choppy, episodic writing. I honestly thought that would take me longer to get through all those books, but those are the books that I plan on unhauling. Again, I'm going to be donating mine to little free libraries, because I do get questions sometimes, what do you do with the books once you finish them? And I'm like, what do you think I do? No, for the ones that I give over a 3-star or that I annotated, they go on my shelves. I keep them. If they're less than a 3-star, 3 and below, they're in this stack over here, and they're going to be taken to little free libraries. I personally donate my books. I know some people sell them. Some people donate them to the public libraries, take them to Goodwill. Personally, I love going to little free libraries, and there are a good handful in my community, and I'm always looking to stock those up and keep reading accessible to everyone. That is something that is so important to me. That is why they're going to little free libraries, and it's great to get out in your community. I highly recommend that you guys do it. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you all have a happy Valentine's Day here at the end of the week. If you made it through this whole video, leave a hearts emoji in the comments below. And as always, comment, rate, and subscribe. And don't forget to ring that notification bell to be notified when all my videos go live. I'll see you in my next one. Bye! If you are familiar with my videos, you're used to seeing Sherman at the end of them. Sadly, Sherman has since passed away, but I would still like to encourage you guys to help your local shelters. Sherman was at the Darlington County Humane Society in rural South Carolina. I always have their link down below in the description if you guys would like to help them, but also help your local shelters as well. You can do that by donating, sharing posts like this one, volunteering, fostering, and adopting, which it's great to do all of those things. Great to help your community, great to help the animals in your community, and I cannot recommend it enough. All of my pets were rescues. They were strays or from animal shelters, and I love them so much, and I know how much love they can give, so knowing these pets at the shelter can equally give that much love, it's amazing. And y'all should totally take part and help out those local animal shelter pets, and please help them.